I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price, and that is part of liberty.
So the breaking news that is going viral right now is that Charlie Kirk was shot in Utah. He was having this event literally right here. This is 1 second before he was shot. He was answering questions in front of all of these people in Utah. There was one shot and he toppled over. The question that was asked was about mass shootings, and he was about to start answering and adding in gang violence and gang shootings because they want to do that to kind of muddy the water where it comes to mass shooters are typically white males. And we've heard enough of this from the right where they want to shift away from who the typical mass shooters are to incorporate more people. And that's what was about to happen before you heard that boom or that pop and watched him topple over. He's in critical condition right now. I do want to point out, though, he has said that he is fine with gun deaths. He said that he is fine with gun deaths because that means that everybody else has the freedom to keep their guns. I was sitting up here reading the news about Charlie Kirk before my inboxes and text messages started going off. And I was struggling to find an F to give regarding this man, especially knowing that these Theo bros, these Christo fascists that want to continue to strip away women's rights. This is the reason these Theo bros and red pillars and these young white men are the reason why women's rights are being chipped away at. So I was struggling to find an F to give, but I know that this is news and we have to talk about it. So from my perspective, I mean, he said he is okay with a certain amount of gun deaths per year. So this is what he is okay with. He is not tripping on there being like extra steps for background checks and, making sure that people's mental health is there. Instead of talking about mass shooters head on, they don't want to talk about it head on. They want to deflect and start talking about other things. They are perfectly fine with it. So why should I don't know. I'm struggling. I will just say it like that. This woman named Merrick, she's not struggling with her words. She says maybe Charlie Kirk shouldn't have spent years being a hateful, demagogic fascist, and this wouldn't have happened. Maybe he should take some personal responsibility. She says, F these people, I do not care. They have grifted tirelessly for years to tear this country apart. He and his cohorts, these Christo fascists, these Theo bros, these techno fugilists, they want to continue to strip women's rights. They want to continue to make sure that black folks and brown folks and people don't have jobs. He doesn't give a damn about people just being snatched up off the streets with people wearing masks. That's the reason why, like I said, I am struggling to find an F to give. Now, this person named Kira is trying to humanize Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a father and a husband. He is a human. I don't care if you politically disagree with him. Nothing justifies this act. And I am not saying anything justifies it, but he's also a fascist piece of crap as well. He's also perfectly fine with stripping women of our freedoms, our autonomy. He wants women to just be forced to, stripped of our right to vote. He's part of those Theo bros. He's part of the whole regime, the propaganda machine that helped radicalize men and help usher in Donald Trump. So yeah, this is going to fall flat, trying to humanize a person that's willing to strip away women's rights and not give a damn about any other deaths. He already said he doesn't care about gun deaths. So now he's in a position where, his family is in a position that other families have been in up until this point. And this dude said, I'm okay with it. So now his family and the other people that listen to him, they're going to make the decision to say, yes, it was a sacrifice that we are willing to make. All up and down Twitter, all up and down social media, politicians are going to be saying the right things. There's no place for gun violence, and I get that. There's no place for gun violence. But there is one party that is so beholden to the NRA that after all of these mass shootings, Sandy Hook was terrible. So many kids died. So many kids just died two children just died in Minnesota as they were praying. But we can't have any kind of real life talks because the Republicans are so beholden to the NRA. And now it's just like, okay, are they going to be willing to have a conversation now? 2 kids were just sacrificed just literally 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And there's not been any kind of conversations about gun reform, background checks, mental health checks, or anything. So is he going to stick with it? Are the Republicans going to stick with that line saying that it's going to be okay? We're okay with sacrificing a few lives for the right to just have guns no matter what. Like this person says, America is an insanely violent nation. Charlie Kirk's shooting is the 46th school shooting this year thus far. But 1 through 45, it wasn't a Charlie Kirk. So those deaths, though, I mean, we don't know if he's dead, but those shootings don't get talked about enough. But this one is going to be major news up and down, sideways and all around because he's Charlie Kirk and he's someone that voted for Donald Trump and pushed his propaganda. But like this article down here below, Charlie Kirk says gun deaths unfortunately worth it to keep the Second Amendment. Y'all go ahead and weigh in.
I think that we've gone wrong here, that women should prioritize family and children way above career, that they should try to find their husband before they're 25, that they should try to get married way younger. This is probably the fertility
But then that
problem.
also goes back to just finances.
No, that's
you
a
can't
huge problem. I
quite
totally agree
have
with that.
a husband going out making a salary to have a stay-at-home.
I completely agree with that. That's the best argument. It's not a winner argument, but it's the best argument. Because at some point, you go to like sub-Saharan Africa, they have like 8 kids and they live in like a dirt hut. You can figure it out. Having children, I believe, is a blessing from the Lord. It's the most amazing thing. You should try to have as many children as you can. Much more important than traveling to Thailand or having a big apartment or a bunch of cats. Okay? Having children are a gift from the Lord. So, but as far as like the dating pool problem, so young ladies, they need to be very clear about what they're expecting in a man and date with the intent to marry and not just date to, have a good time. And quite honestly, both need to do this, but young women need to do a much better job of saving themselves for marriage. They need to be, they need to prioritize purity again. Young men need to too, but if young women do it, then young men will.
So if that's what the women need to do in order to make themselves worthy of dating,
Yes.
What do you think is the main thing men need to do to make themselves worthy?
The most attractive quality in a young man that young women can't ever articulate is self-control.
So how does this look in application?
A woman needs to be able to know that you can control your impulses when things get really crazy. They can't articulate it, but that's what they want. So for example, they want to be able, when you go on a date, can you control your mouth? Can you control your tongue? Can you control your eye? Are you going to cheat on her? Are you going to have a wandering eye? Are you going to get drunk every night? Are you going to kind of go into like a drug, abyss? Women can't always put that into words, but that differentiates a boy from a man.